What is good, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Renegade Roundtable podcast here on Revolution Radio. I am Jeffrey Kirby. As you can see, once again, we are riding solo like Jason Derulo here tonight. Obviously, as you can tell, we got a lot to get into, a whole lot of football, because holy shit, has there been some insanity? A whole lot of insanity has gone on in the last week or so, couple days, or last week and a half or so, discussing just everything with free agency and trades and just the AFC becoming an absolute gauntlet. It's just absolutely insane on what's going on. And obviously, so one of the things that has been developing, obviously, we're going to get into it a little bit more, just breaking down everything that's going on in the AFC North and how that affects the Steelers with this coming up offseason. Obviously, we know the big thing that happened for the AFC North, the Browns trading for Deshaun Watson. I made a reaction video about that. There were possibly additional charges that were going to be put against him. Apparently, that is not happening. So there is that. But we're going to get into that. We're going to get into Cincinnati. We're going to get into Baltimore. We're obviously going to get into Pittsburgh and what they've done. And there's a whole lot to get into. We'll also take a look at Mel Kiper's latest mock draft. Man, I thought this was video games. Hey, we do... I've been doing some video games too. But obviously, and Jay, you know, we're going to be talking... You could give your opinion too. This is a conversation for everyone that's involved in football. Obviously for you being a Browns fan, I know we just discussed it a few days ago about the Deshaun Watson thing when we were together, but obviously you can give your opinions on everything else as well. Everyone else, if you're on Facebook, make sure to share this, like, comment. If you're on YouTube, make sure to like this, comment, and also clickbait. I want Madden. Did it not go through? Let's say it should be. One of these days we will do Madden. But yeah, if you're on YouTube, make sure to like, comment, also hit that red subscribe button. We recently just hit 300 subs. Make sure to go and click that red subscribe button. It's completely free, and it helps support a local YouTuber here. So, it says Madden tournament with Justin, LOL. Wait, what? Alright, we'll figure that out later. But in the meantime, let's get right into things with free agency and the absolute insanity that has gone on. So obviously, we'll start off with Cincinnati, the title of the stream. I'll have to figure that out. I'm kind of getting new. What is this stream? LOL. I'm using a thing that's called Restream.io. It's a thing with OBS. I'll have to figure it out. But yeah, we are obviously. I know what you're doing. But let's talk about free agency here. So obviously, Cincinnati, we'll start off with them, these reigning AFC champions, and also reigning, AFC North champions and AFC champions as well. We'll start off with them. Obviously, for everyone that's known me, and I've been on record for a while now, I do not like Cincinnati at all. I was one of those people that, let me see. Okay, I don't know why it's doing that, but obviously we are here, we're talking football here. We're talking football, obviously. I don't know why. I appreciate you sending me that. I'll have to figure that out. But obviously, I hate Cincinnati. I do not like them at all. I'm not doing anything that's ever the title says. I'm just trying to let you know. Hey, I appreciate you letting me know. I have to work on that. I'll have to figure out why it's doing that. But, okay, and it's also doing that on YouTube as well. So I'm going to have to fix that real quick. I don't know why it's doing that, so I appreciate you letting me know. I don't know why it's not what I had it intended for it to be. Here, I can actually change this real quick. We're gonna update all, and if not, if anything here, we're just gonna have to do this a little bit weird. We'll just do it like this. So yeah, give me 1 second to stand by. Yeah, I don't know why it's saying that. All right, move on. All right, we should be good now. Now, let's talk about free agency, Cincinnati. I like what they've done in terms of the offensive line. What they've done is, I hate that they've done it, but it was exactly what they needed to do. Lyle Collins was former Dallas Cowboy. He got a 3-year, $30 million deal. Alex Kappa from Tampa Bay, you got him from there, 4 years, $35 million. Ted Karras, he came from New England. You got him on a 3-year, $18 million deal. So you really, really helped out the interior part of that offensive line. You also now got your right tackle. So now what you've done a lot to protect Joe Burrow and protect your investment. And this is weird for the Cincinnati Bengals because they don't really ever go out and spend that kind of money. So for them to go and do that was a little surprising. But if you're a Cincinnati Bengal fan, you have to love that because it's showing that this ownership is willing to put out some money to continue to be in a win now mode and continue to be in their Super Bowl window. Obviously, they also got B.J. Hill, defensive tackle, on a 3-year, $30 million deal. So again, that helps out with their defense as well. You tagged Jesse Bates. That's going to be interesting to see what happens after the season with them. Baltimore, they really have not done much. I mean, they re-signed Richard Ricard, whatever. Their big signing was the Bengals should be happy. Absolutely. If you're a Bengals fan, you should be ecstatic. The flag behind you should be set on fire. Oh, man. But what's up, Chris? How you doing? Baltimore, I'll get to Cleveland here in a minute, too. So you guys, we'll have a discussion. We're going to talk everything AFC. Baltimore did not really do much. Their biggest signing, obviously, was getting Marcus Williams from the Saints, 5 years, $70 million deal with $37 million guaranteed. That was their big signing of the year. Baltimore should be mad. Here's the thing with Baltimore. Baltimore's in a very awkward situation. Reason being, obviously, you don't know Lamar Jackson. Now, obviously, he does not have an agent. So, and he is getting a little bit of help through the contract process from the NFLPA. But, again, you didn't really go out and do all that much. Everyone in the AFC North got better. Aesthetically better. I mean, I would say Pittsburgh didn't get aesthetically better, but they got better. Cleveland got themselves a franchise quarterback. Cincinnati went out there and fixed out the worst part of their team, which was the interior part of that offensive line. Broncos Stadium got caught on fire. I did see that. That was honestly insane. I saw that on Facebook right before the show, and I'm like, holy shit. But, again, with Baltimore, Lamar Jackson, there's the uncertainty there. And, again, here's my thing. If you're Lamar Jackson, you love what just happened to Deshaun Watson and that contract. 5 years, $230 million, fully guaranteed. Because if you're Lamar Jackson, here's what you hit him with. I've won you an MVP. I have a winning record. I have been a class personified player off the field as well. I do not have any issues, unlike Deshaun Watson. That's just honest. That's just how it is right now. Where's my money? Look at the value that I have brought to this team. Uncertainty about what? If he'll be healthy? Last year was the first time that he was hurt. The uncertainty about his future in Baltimore. That right now is the biggest issue that we're having right now with that you're having with Baltimore. And again, you went out, you got a couple nice pieces. You got Morgan Moses, tackle for 3 years, $15 million. That helps out a little bit of what their issues is. You also got Michael Pierce on a 3 year, $16.5 million deal. And we're going to look into, obviously, Mel Kiper's mock draft a little bit later. But, again, they filled out a couple of their needs. But I still think I could see them going either defensive tackle or offensive tackle still in this draft. And then we're going to get, I'm safe. No, we'll do Cleveland next. And then I'm going to get into Pittsburgh and all that. So, obviously, we'll save Deshaun Watson for last there. Signed Jacoby Brissett for a year. Okay. You get your backup. We don't know what the future is of Deshaun Watson. Traded for Amari Cooper. Needed to happen. You needed yourself a number one wide receiver. And, again, now that contract's a little but, again, at the end of the day, you had to do what you had to do. Well, I want to save Pittsburgh last because, obviously, this is a Pittsburgh-themed channel. We're going to get to them. Taven Bryan, former first-round pick. Okay, cool. It helps fill out a need. Anthony Walker, cool. But obviously the big issue, or the big signing, or the big trade was obviously for Deshaun Watson, in everything with all the allegations that's going on with him. The Browns were obviously the one they threw the bag at Deshaun Watson and said, come here, come to Cleveland, be mine. And that's exactly what he is. In fact, he was in Cleveland earlier today at their facility. And obviously, if you're looking at it from a football aspect of this, yes, he makes your team a whole lot better. And as I said, if for those that did not watch my reaction video to that trade, which you should go and watch, by the way, I talked about how football-wise, strictly football, he makes you a whole lot better of a team. And again, for the first time, you truly now feel like you have a franchise quarterback. Now, you could possibly say you truly felt like that with Baker, but now you know you have yourself an elite quarterback. Yeah, not having 3 first-round picks, that might suck, but at the end of the day, you didn't give up a player, and when's the next time a caliber quarterback like this is going to be available to get? So you had to do what you had to do there. And obviously, with the off-the-field stuff, obviously there are allegations. It's a very touchy subject. For me, the way I look at it is like, yeah, obviously the fans, and if you follow me on Twitter, obviously I've done my little whatever on that already with the calling it hypocrisy or whatever, blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, right now we don't know fully the truth. Obviously, he's not settling. He's willing to fight every single one of these civil cases, which gives you a little bit of hope if you're a Browns fan to say either maybe he isn't, maybe he is innocent, maybe all these are whatever, or it might be an arrogance thing, but I don't really see it being that. But this is going to be very interesting to see what happens throughout. Now going into Pittsburgh real quick, talk about them for a little bit. And obviously, you have Mitchell Trubisky. You signed him. That ended up being your guy that you went out. You felt like you did not want to trade the draft capital for a Deshaun Watson, where there were reports saying that he wanted to be in Pittsburgh. So that sucks there. Something happened today. What happened? Let me know. But obviously, with Mitchell Trubisky, you get him on a 2-year, $14.25 million deal. That could end up being $27 million with incentives. They decided to not indict something. Yeah, there was a possible another charge out was going to come in the case, but they did not go forward with that. So that's what ended up happening there. For me, obviously, for those that were around during the NFL free agency live stream that I did, at first, I was pissed. I was not happy about it. But I was just also in the emotion. I was just in the moment that we did not get Deshaun Watson. But then when you think about it a little bit more, and I had a little bit of time to think. Now, is Mitchell Trubisky the worst quarterback in the division? Yeah, I'll admit that. That's easy. I obviously, that's an easy admit to say. And if you're a Steeler fan and you don't think so, well, then you're fooling yourself right now. Now, there's still the possibility, it's almost looking like a better shot that the Steelers are going to go after a quarterback in round 1, because Mike Tomlin and Kevin Colbert, they've been around to all the pro days for the quarterbacks. So you have that going for you. And again, if Mitchell Trubisky does not work out, cool. He is a guy that you didn't spend much money on. If it wasn't him, who's the worst? Before Deshaun Watson, you could have made the argument it would have been either Mitch Trubisky or Baker, but obviously with Deshaun Watson now being the quarterback in Cleveland, well then obviously that makes that. But yeah, for me, Trubisky's a guy, again, if he doesn't work out, cool. It was a low risk situation. And if he works out, well shit, now you have a quarterback for the next few years. And then on top of that, if you get a guy like Malik Willis, for an example, if there is something where he can end up being the quarterback in Pittsburgh, you wouldn't want him to start right away anyway. So you get a guy like Trubisky, you let him sit, that gives him a little bit of time, learn the offense, learn what the NFL game is like, and then you can put him in there when he's ready, and now you're in a whole lot better situation rather than throwing guys out. Like, because for me, and for those that watched the NFL draft show last year, and it was around me during the NFL draft season last year, I was not high on Zach Wilson at all. Zach Wilson was a guy that if you were able to sit him and allow him to develop a little bit, I think that'd be a little bit different. But just throwing him out in the fire was not going to work. So if it's not Mitchell, who is... Oh, Mitchell Trubisky now is the worst quarterback in the division. That's easy. But then, we all knew that the offensive line was a big issue, and you're thinking to yourself, okay, if you're not going to go quarterback, well, then you got to go offensive line. Well, so what do? Kevin Colbert in the front office, uncharacteristically, went out and spent money. You got Chukwu Okorafor. You re-signed him 3-year, basically just shy of $30 million with $20 million guaranteed. You get James Daniels from Chicago. You get Mason Cole on a 3-year deal. Miles Jack. I was so happy for that pick. I know it is, Jeff. I'm just letting you know. Miles Jack, I was happy about that pick because now that could get Joe Schobert's ass on out of here. Oh, I'm saying out of the three, who's the worst? Right now, I would say Lamar. I'll say Lamar. I think I would go... Yeah, I'd say Lamar. But for me, again, going back to the Miles Jack thing real quick. Get Joe Schobert's ass on out of here. Get that contract on out of here. You get Miles Jack as a guy who is sideline to sideline. Him next to Devin Bush, who is now going to be a full year plus removed out from, he'll be another year out from that ACL surgery. This will really help him out a lot. And that just really helps the interior part of that. That really helps out your front seven. And again, that's something that you really needed, was another guy who could go on to coverage, who has some range on him. And that's exactly what you get in Miles Jack. And you get him for a 2-year deal. So I was super excited about that. He's still young too. So that was something, again, that I was very, very excited about. You re-sign you get Robert Spillane back. Okay, cool. He's a nice little rotational guy for certain situations, or if a guy gets hurt, you could put him in there. He's not too bad. So I was all right with that. You re-sign Arthur Millette again, and then what I really like is the fact that they went out. You get Levi Wallace from Buffalo. So now what that does is that puts Cam Sutton in a more of a situation to where he could be more of where he needs to be in that nickel or dime corner, and that puts him in where he's more comfortable at, where you'll get more production out of him, because he was not the greatest on the outside last year. You re-signed Ahkello Witherspoon, which again I was so happy about. I love that. We needed that to happen. And then Levi Wallace again. So now you really help out your secondary. Now, real quick before we continue on with more of free agency, for me, obviously, as you can tell by the title of this video now and by the thumbnail, the Steeler fans are on Honey Badger alert. We are on Tyrann Mathieu watch. We are on Honey Badger alert. Now, imagine a safety core of Minkah Fitzpatrick and Tyrann Mathieu. Holy hell. That right there makes your defense a whole lot better. Because Tyrann Mathieu, now he has experience first and foremost. He's very smart. He's been to a Super Bowl and he's won a Super Bowl, been to another. So now you have a real championship experience again on this team, on this defense. This really helps out your secondary and your corners, who now you feel more you feel more comfortable when you have those two back playing safety, because right now it doesn't seem like Terrell Edmunds is coming back. I think the only way you would want to bring him back is if you lose the Tyrann Mathieu sweepstakes, or if you possibly are feeling like maybe going in the draft and looking for a safety. There's the slightest shot that, and what I'm obviously, for those that know with the Steelers, we don't ever trade back. It just seems like we never do. But if you're a team, or if you're the Steelers and you're looking at a guy maybe like Daxton Hill from Michigan, saying, hey, Tyrann Mathieu is a Brown, sadly. Tyrann Mathieu is definitely not a Brown, sir. He's going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. Now, if you want a guy like Daxton Hill, maybe that would be a situation. Trade back a little bit. Maybe if there's one of those teams that want to trade up, if there's a quarterback out there for one of those teams, if you're not looking into that situation, but I don't think that's going to happen. Mitchell Trubisky, yeah, you already missed that. You already missed that conversation. All I got to say is Mitchell Trubisky he's going to light shit up this year. He's lighting it up. You know how it is. Here we go. And then again, just a couple more small signings. Miles Killebrew, you brought him back on a low 2-year deal. Nice little special teams guy. I got no problem with that. Then you get Gunnar Olszewski, more of a punt/kick returner. He replaces what Ray McLeod was doing for you. Gunnar, he's cool. I got no issue with that as well. Need some water there. But yeah, just overall, just the AFC itself. And we're going to get into, again, some of the signings that the AFC has had. If you really look at it, how many bad teams are in the AFC right now? 3? You used to say 4 with Miami. I don't think they're great. But I think you can put them in that bottom tier of teams that are like, okay, they're more of like, they're not bad now. But you look at it, really the only bad teams in the conference are like, what? The Jets, the Jags, and the Texans. And if you want to put Miami still in there, that's fine. Well, you know what? We'll do that for this exercise. So you have 12 teams fighting for 7 spots. There's some good teams that are not going to make the playoffs. And here's a hot take right now. And for those, if you want to record this, save this, bookmark it, whatever, cool. In case I'm wrong, freezing cold takes, y'all can have it. The Denver Broncos are not making the playoffs this year. Their stadium just caught on fire, and they're not making the playoffs. There's my hot take there. They're they're a team in the AFC West that's not making the playoffs. Just calling that. But then you look at some of the teams and what they've done in the AFC in terms of free agency. Buffalo, you got yourself Jamison Crowder. I think they could possibly maybe get themselves a wide receiver. In the draft, it's a little bit more unlikely, but it's still a very well possibility as well. I'm looking to see here. I want to look something up here real quick. I got my laptop over here. Okay, so this is going by divisions here. Okay. All right, give me 1 second, guys. I'm trying to look things up. Okay. So for Buffalo, it's a possibility. They could very well go for maybe get themselves a wide receiver. Could also see them going after a corner. Or I guess they see them, if they're really in on one of these defensive tackles, I could see them trading up. But that's also a little different story here. But again, get yourself Jamison Crowder. Obviously, their big signing was getting Von Miller on that big-ass deal that they got. So you get yourselves a nice pass rusher who's going after the quarterback. You get Mitch Morse. You sign Roger Saffold. You get him on a 1-year deal. You get Mitch Morse on a 2-year deal. You get O.J. Howard, so now you get your low tight end too behind Dawson Knox. So I like what Buffalo has done, and it's going to be very interesting to see what direction they go in the draft. Their top 5 biggest needs, corner. There's a couple corners that you can see them going after. Maybe a guy like Kyler Gordon from Washington. Maybe a guy like Andrew Booth from Clemson. You get defensive tackle. Maybe if you could get one of those Georgia guys to drop. What's good, TJ? How you doing today? You get guard. If you want to see, you could possibly see them going after a guy like Zion Johnson. Maybe a guy like Kenyon Green, one of those guys. Running back, I don't personally see them. I don't see a running back going in the first round. It wouldn't be as much of a surprise. I just don't see it. And then maybe an offensive tackle, but I don't think they will. But then you go, and then for Miami again, we'll stay in the AFC East. Obviously their biggest thing that just happened, they traded for Tyreek Hill and gave him a bag. Gave him a 4-year, $120 million extension. It includes $72.2 million guaranteed. Holy shit. First and foremost, and I'm looking at it from this perspective. And I understand, and from a lot of interviews that I've seen with players in terms of money, on one hand, yes, I completely get in the short period of time where you could really go and make yourself some money, you go and get yourself the bag. You go and stack up as much money as you can. But if you're a Tyreek Hill and you're in Kansas City right now, you still have Patrick Mahomes as your quarterback. You still have a top offense in the NFL. You have Andy Reid, who is a Hall of Fame head coach. You're still in a prime position to go out and win Super Bowls. I don't know. Maybe just my mindset's a little bit different. I feel like I would rather want to go for, try to win championships. And again, I hate the whole, he doesn't care, he's just chasing the bag. I get you have to go and get your money. You got to go and chase the bag. But, I don't know. Maybe it's just my personal perspective. I think I would rather go for championships. But that's also not here nor there. You tag Mike Gesicki. They just recently got Tyrann Armstead, 5 years, $75 million. So they're going out and trying. They're trying. You get Emmanuel Agbah, 4 years, $65.5 million. So you get that, as I'm getting Snapchats over here now. Damn, I'm getting more Snapchats. Jesus Christ. But yeah, you see them. They're trying at least, and you got to respect that out of them. You get the Colts. Hell, the Colts just traded for Matt Ryan. Which, here's what's funny about all this, and going back to some with the Browns. Obviously Baker Mayfield apparently said he wanted to go to the Colts, and instead the Indianapolis Colts said, nah, let me get a 36, 37, 38-year-old Matt Ryan instead. That's a little interesting. Because, obviously now with the Colts, this is like how many times? Damn, dude, you... Thank you, my guy. But, if you're looking at it in terms of the Colts, now, how long is he going to be there for? Okay. Alright. A guy like Matt Ryan, how long is he going to be there for? Again, you're doing this all over again. How many new quarterbacks have you had since Andrew Luck has been gone? That says it for itself. How long is he going to be there for? But this is a whole lot interesting for that. And now that brings in the question of, who the hell is going to trade for Baker Mayfield? And then you obviously with the Chiefs, you go and get yourself. Obviously, they signed Juju Smith-Schuster, which sucks for me because God, as much as I love Juju, I knew it wasn't gonna happen. You knew the Steelers weren't gonna re-sign him. I'm just like, okay. But then they go out, get Marquez Valdes-Scantling, 3 years for $30 million, and Juju got a 1-year deal with a maximum value of $10.75 million. And then obviously you go and Orlando Brown gets a franchise tag. Frank Clark, you get him a nice little 2-year, $29 million. And then Justin Reed, 3-year, $31.5 million. So you get yourself a nice little safety. But again, it's just like you really don't know what's going on with Kansas City, and they're not in a rebuild situation, obviously, but you're just like, they might take a step back. Then you get the Raiders again. You see what the hell they have done. What's funny is 10 or 15 minutes after our NFL mock draft show last week, which, if you still want to go and check it out, you can, even though now it's completely ruined because of all the goddamn stuff that is going on. Because now the Chiefs don't have a first-round pick. The Raiders now don't have a first-round pick. So, there you go. But, if you still want to go check it out, make sure to go and check that out. But then Devontae Adams, you trade a first-round pick for him, and then you give him a 5-year, $141.25 million contract, which is literally $28.25 million per year. Holy hell. Want to talk about, hey, if you're Devontae Adams, you're saying, hey, Christian Kirk, thank you. Which, again, we didn't even talk about the Jacksonville Jaguars and what the hell they've done. But, again, I mean, they're not good. So, I mean, they're not really relevant. And then, obviously, Chandler Jones was another big signing. Get him on a 3-year, $52.5 million contract. Yannick Ngakoue. You re-signed Max Crosby. So you said, the hell with it. We are going after the quarterback. In the division, we're going to go after Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, and Russell Wilson. It's just, the whole entire AFC is just absolutely insane. And again, we're just shy of a month from the NFL draft, which again, obviously, give you guys a little rundown. Obviously, this is the first year we'll be doing NFL draft stuff here on the Renegade Roundtable. Well, because we have a better round. We obviously came around in June of last year. So typically what will happen is the week before the NFL draft, we will reveal our mock draft 2.0. And then later on that week, me and my man Yo Paulie, we usually do a show. It's called the Drop Back Show. We'll take a look at the previous year's NFL draft. We'll kind of grade that through year one. And then obviously with the NFL draft, we will be broadcasting live. We will be giving you live coverage of the 2022 NFL draft. We'll be having it absolutely everywhere. We'll have it here on YouTube. So you will not want to miss that. And again, and we're not off yet, but I'm just real quick while we're here, make sure to go and follow me here on Twitter at Jeff_Kirby99. And if you also have yet, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. So there you go. There's that. But let's go ahead. I do want to take a look here at Mel Kiper's most recent mock draft. He released that over the week or earlier this week. So we're gonna go ahead. We're gonna take a look at it, see who the hell the Steelers are taking, and if I'm not mistaken, obviously this is prior to the Tyreek Hill trade. So we'll take that in consideration as well. So number one, the Jacksonville Jaguars selecting Aiden Hutchinson. Which here's what's funny is. So after the show last week, I revealed my mock draft to the world, and I sent it to everyone. And what's funny is I love how everyone will just say, "Oh, it's terrible, it's trash, it's terrible, it's the worst mock draft I've ever seen." I don't know why. I just find that so funny because it happens to everyone, but I just find it funny. I love it. But number one, the Jacksonville Jaguars selecting Aiden Hutchinson. Again, does not really surprise me. They went out and spent on the offensive line. So it seems more and more like Aiden Hutchinson could be the pick here for Jacksonville. But we really don't know. They still very well could go after Akeem Ekwonu, Evan Neal, one of those guys. So even maybe a slight chance they could go after a Kyle Hamilton, but I don't see it. I think they're going to go after one of the either Aiden Hutchinson or one of the tackles. Number two, the Detroit Lions are selecting Kyle Hamilton. So, again, as what he says, Kayvon Thibodeau is in play. He seems like he's slipping a little bit. And again, with the way that the safeties are in his class, it's Kyle Hamilton, and then there's a nice drop-off. So if you feel like there's another position in need that you can – and again, you remember, you have another pick at pick 32. So if you feel like – you want to get yourself the best safety by far in this class, you absolutely go and do that in Kyle Hamilton. And then with that 32nd pick, you go and get if you want to go after a quarterback, you very well could. Or if there's another guy that you want to go after or another position where the drop off may not be as much, well then that's the situation that you have to do. So for me again, I don't mind this pick at all. In fact, I like it a lot. Number three, the Houston Texans are selecting Akeem Ekwonu, offensive tackle from NC State. Again, now with this, I'm putting myself in a situation now in my head where it's like, okay, if they for some odd reason take a quarterback, do not be surprised. I'm trying to put that in my head. How likely that's going to be, not maybe that likely, just based on the fact that Davis Mills, they seem to be very high on Davis Mills. So we'll see what happens. But I'm just kind of putting that in the back of my head, saying, hey, do not be surprised if they go after a quarterback here. But Akeem Ekwonu, a guy, again, it seems like he's starting to maybe rise a little bit more as that offensive tackle one. He's a guy I really like. I personally am Akeem Ekwonu over Evan Neal. Again, Evan, Alabama offensive lineman, you can always trust. They're going to be well coached. But just watching Akeem Ekwonu, just watching the physicality that he has, yeah, give me Akeem Ekwonu all day long. Number 4. Now, this was interesting. This was very interesting for me. And with the 4th pick, he has the New York Jets selecting Drake London. Now, it's interesting. It is very well interesting. I mean, but is wide receiver is that their biggest need? No. I think you could go and get yourself a wide receiver with that 10th pick if you wanted. Now, are you that high on Drake London that you feel like you need to make sure you get him at 4? Because are you worried about possibly one of those, maybe a team for some odd reason getting him? Then maybe. But offensive tackle is a bigger need. Go after a guy like, you could get yourself an Evan Neal. Maybe this is where Kayvon Thibodeau comes into play. I feel like for me, there's a bigger need at other positions. And that with pick 10, you can worry about the receiver then, where it might be better value. But for me, I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of this pick. Number 5, the New York Football Jets selecting Evan Neal. So there you go. So now the New York Giants are getting themselves an offensive tackle. This is honestly probably their biggest need that they have. And again, as I just mentioned earlier, you get a guy, he goes to Alabama. Alabama guys are going to be well coached. I like this pick a lot. And again, you went out in 2020, got yourself Andrew Thomas. And so Evan Neal does have experience. As he mentions here, people forget Evan Neal did play right tackle, so he has experience out there. Kick him out to the right side, to that right side, and now you have the anchor of the outside of your offensive line in place. So I like this pick a lot, and this would be, if you're the Giants, you are very happy that Evan Neal is dropping to you, or even Akeem Ekwonu if that were to somehow happen. We shall see. Now at number 6, the Carolina Panthers are selecting Travon Walker, defensive end from Georgia. Now, again, quarterback, this is where you got to put, if you got the list of the picks, and if you're putting asterisks on teams that could possibly be a quarterback pick, you definitely put it here for Carolina. Now, there's just mutual disinterest with Baker Mayfield, which, again, if you're Baker, I don't really know if you should be saying you have interest or disinterest. I don't think you're in a position to do that. That's here nor there. They could possibly go after Jimmy Garoppolo. Carolina, yeah, this would be nice for them. Obviously, offensive tackle is another need for them as well. But I just got this gut feeling this is where a quarterback's going. If they're very high on a Malik Willis or a Kenny Pickett, this is just starting to smell like quarterback. Let me know. Am I going crazy? To me, this just smells quarterback. I'm getting that sense. But in terms of Travon Walker itself, he's a bit a high riser. I could also very well see the Giants selecting Travon Walker too, to help out that little pass rushing group with Azeez Ojulari and Leonard Williams. Carolina, they seemed like almost every mock draft, including myself, we had them taking Charles Cross. So now he has them going with the opposite side of the football on the defensive side. But again, it's just, unless they go after Jimmy Garoppolo or something, this just smells quarterback. Number 7, the New York Football Giants are selecting Kayvon Thibodeau, defensive end from Oregon. Caleb, I will do it for you. Again, as we just talked about, so in this case, If you're the Giants, we just talked about the possibility of them going after Trayvon Walker and pick number 5. Well, in this situation, you get yourself your defensive end there to pair up again with Azeez Ojulari and Leonard Williams. So you get yourself 2 big needs. You fill out 2 needs if you're the Giants. And if you're a Giants fan, you are ecstatic with those 2 picks. Now, Kayvon Thibodeaux, for me, I'm not as high on him. I think that if he really puts his mind to it, he can be, as he says, he can be all pro. I just don't know if he's going. Sometimes you go with your gut. I got a fat gut, and some weird just tells me he's not going to be the greatest in the NFL. I could be very well wrong. Again, anyone want to send this, bookmark this, freezing cold takes, you can have that. But I just got this feeling that But again, in terms of the pick and terms of the need, I like what he has the Giants doing. Number 8, the Atlanta Falcons selecting Garrett Wilson from the Ohio State Buckeyes. So we got our first Buckeye off the board here with the Atlanta Falcons selecting Garrett Wilson. Again, with Calvin Ridley being suspended for the whole year. Matt Ryan is not there anymore. You do have Marcus Mariota. Grade the Browns offseason. For me right now, I'll give it an A-. We'll give it an A-. Okay. But yeah, in terms of Atlanta, Garrett Wilson, again, I like this pick for them. They need a receiver. This was a big need for them. This is probably their biggest need, maybe outside of a pass rusher. As we're getting an ESPN notification, Andrew Miller is retiring. Former Cleveland Indians at the time and former St. Louis Cardinal. He is retired. So there is that. Pass rusher is a possibility here, but wide receiver is a need for them. And again, you can't go wrong with Garrett Wilson. This is probably the one of the teams that if you were the Jets, that you could be worried about them taking Drake London. But again, even then, I can still see them going after Garrett Wilson, a guy who I think is Marvin Harrison 2.0. And for those that know, I'm a huge fan of Marvin Harrison. And to me, Marvin Harrison is very, very, very underrated. So there is that for Atlanta. Number 9, the Seattle Seahawks are selecting Charles Cross, offensive tackle from Mississippi State. Again, for me, this could be a very well quarterback. You could put an asterisk here for a possible quarterback, but I don't think it's as high. I think they're very high. It seems like they're high on Drew Lock. They're still in the running for Baker Mayfield if they want to go that route. And if you're going to go that route, okay, build the offensive line around him. Go after a Charles Cross. That would be a nice pick for them. I could also maybe see them going after a linebacker. Maybe a Devin Lloyd. Maybe. Which is right around where I think Denver could have went after too when they originally had this pick. So there's an interesting thought to have in the back of your head. Linebacker is a need for them, but offensive tackle also, I would say, is a bigger need. So I like this pick, though, for Seattle all along. The New York Football Jets at number 10, they are bringing the sauce. The sauce is coming to the Big Apple, to New York. And again, this was a need for them. So now you go after a guy. You get your corner, which is one of the bigger needs that you have. I like this pick. I'm not the biggest. I want Baker in Pittsburgh. I'll personally drive it there. Listen, you know what's funny? I actually had, and you were with me, Justin, when I literally put it in my phone back in January during the Packers 49ers divisional game. Don't ask me why, but I had a Baker Mayfield in a Pittsburgh uniform, Photoshop, and I had it just for a troll, and I didn't realize it was actually going to be a possibility. I mean, my God. But back to the Jets here. Again, I like this pick a whole lot more. So for me, this pick, I would grade this pick Great. Number 11, the Washington Commanders are selecting Derek Stingley, cornerback from LSU. Now, this is one of their bigger needs. So this fits a need. I have no issue with this. Again, as he mentions here, he had surgery on his he had a Liz Frank. He is going to be able to participate in the Pro Day, which is April 6th. It'll be at 9:45 a.m. for those that are wondering. But for me, I could also see them going after a wide receiver here, depending on what receiver is still available. If for some odd reason Garrett Wilson was still there, I could see them snagging him up. Then you get two Ohio State wide receivers there in Garrett Wilson and Terry McLaurin, who is an absolute beast, Scary Terry. But again, I don't have an issue with this pick. This fits a need for them, and I like this pick for them. And now that they're not in a quarterback situation. Number 12, the Minnesota Vikings are selecting Trent McDuffie, corner from Washington. I like this pick. This fits a need. In my mock draft, I had them going Derek Stingley here. So, again, we have the same idea, same mindset in terms of you need a corner. Again, all these guys are, who the hell do they have right now that is guaranteed as a corner? So you go out, you fill yourself a huge need, and I like this pick a lot for Minnesota. Now the Houston Texans at pick number 13, which it usually used to be they would have Curtis. That is right, they do have Curtis Samuel. So yeah, it would basically be the Washington Buckeyes there. There you go, there's a new name. But the Houston Texans, which was obviously the Cleveland Browns, they're selecting Jordan Davis, defensive tackle from Georgia. He mentions here Jermaine Johnson. I think Jermaine Johnson would be that would fit a whole lot bigger of a need than Jordan Davis. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about this one. I saw Jordan Davis, and this was a fun comparison. I don't personally agree with it as much. I saw a comparison to Jordan Davis as Ted Washington, which if you remember him from New England, his big ass just filling up the middle. I don't see it as much, but for me, I think Jermaine Johnson would be the better pick, and it fits a bigger need for Houston. Number 14, the Baltimore Ravens selected Tyler Linderbaum, center from Iowa. So again, seems like we've seen him at 14 and then follow him all the way back to about the late 20s. So anywhere in that range, this fits a need. Baltimore, this would be a slam dunk pick for them. He does have some short arms, which could be somewhat of a concern. I don't think it's as much of a concern for me. He's an Iowa guy. You know the Iowa kids, they produce offensive linemen like it's no tomorrow. Number 15, the Philadelphia Eagles with the first of 3 first-round picks, which here's a funny thing, too, about this before we continue on. So we now have 2 teams in this draft that have back-to-back first-round picks. The last time any team had back-to-back picks was in 2003 with the Arizona Cardinals. So now we have 2 in this draft class. But now the Philadelphia Eagles, they're going and selecting Jermaine Johnson, defensive end from Florida State, which if you personally ask me, I personally think that he should be gone already because there are some teams that would need more of an edge rusher. But again, from Philadelphia, this fits a need for them. I like this. Fletcher Cox, he's on the wrong side of 30. Now you do bring on Hassan Reddick, but is that enough? I don't think so. I think this is a good pick for them. Number 16, the Philadelphia Eagles are selecting Chris Olave, wide receiver from Ohio State. I had him going 19, so that's one kind of matching pick that we have. I love this idea for them. Jalen Reagor has not been good, so you go and get yourself a guy that could be opposite of Devontae Smith, who had a pretty nice year for them. So you get yourself a guy, too sweet. And, yeah, this is a slam dunk pick for them. The Chargers selecting Trevor Penning, offensive tackle from Iowa State, or Northern Iowa. I don't know why I said Iowa State. Northern Iowa. I like this pick for them. And you know what's funny is in my description, and I talked to a Chargers fan as I was in the middle of doing my mock draft, and he told me this exact thing too. Storm Norton, shout out to Chase. Storm Norton cannot be the offensive tackle for the Chargers. And I think I agree. This fits a need for them, and I like this pick for them a lot. And I know Chase and among other Chargers fans will be happy with this, all 12 of them. Number 18, the New Orleans Saints are selecting Kenny Pickett. Now, again, they do have Jameis Winston. Now, do I think that's going to happen? Still a slight possibility. But right now, obviously, he has him going Pickett. And, again, it is a very strange quarterback class. Having a quarterback here going, the first one going at 18, we could see one as high as what, pick 3? It's a very weird situation going on with this quarterback class. But obviously this was a little bit before they re-signed Jameis Winston here. Number 19, the Philadelphia Eagles are selecting Devin Lloyd, inside linebacker from Utah. Again, I had this pick a little bit higher. I had this, if I'm not mistaken, at pick 15 for them. So we had two matching picks just at different spots. I like this pick for them. Again, this fits a need. And so, yeah, I like this pick for them. With the 20th pick in the 2021 NFL Draft, the Pittsburgh Steelers are selecting Malik Willis, quarterback from Liberty. Holy hell, you will see a live reaction of me going absolutely nuts if this does happen. I will be very, very happy if this happens. I'm just praying. I'm hoping. But again, if we were to not go quarterback here, I would be okay with that as well. Number 21, the New England Patriots selecting Jameson Williams, wide receiver from Alabama. This honestly smells and tastes. This smells and hears everything like a New England pick. I would not be surprised here whatsoever. They need receivers, and yeah, this is to no surprise. Now, the Green Bay Packers, which originally was the Las Vegas, now, do they go and get themselves a wide receiver here? No, they get themselves a Kenyon Green, the guard, I guess, slash center, or tackle from Texas A&M for the Packers. Now, this could possibly be a need. I think wide receiver here would be, I think I would rather them go wide receiver here, unless they truly feel like they could go later on down the road and get themselves a receiver later in the first round. That's just my personal opinion here. Arizona selecting Devontae Wyatt, defensive tackle from Georgia. Okay. I mean, maybe a guy like Kyler Gordon goes here. Maybe a guy like Andrew Booth. I think that those two are, I think corner is the bigger need for them. I understand why you do this, but I think for me, I would rather have had them go corner here. But I'm not mad at the Devontae Wyatt pick here either. Number 24, the Dallas Cowboys are selecting Tyler Smith. It's the first time I've seen him in a little bit in the mock draft. Offensive tackle from Tulsa. This isn't, and again, it says offensive tackle / guard. Interior part of that offensive line is a little bit of a need. Obviously, Lyle Collins is not there anymore. Okay. You get a little bit of flexibility here. It's going to be a matter now of what kind of player do you prefer. Are you really looking at a guy to maybe who could play offensive tackle, or are you more of looking for someone who could play guard? Because remember, as he mentions here, Zach Martin is also over 30. He's getting a little bit up there in age. So there you go. Maybe a guy like George Karlaftis could go here. I think edge rusher is a need for them as well. But we shall see. Number 25, Buffalo selecting Jahan Dotson. Yeah, I could see this. I could also see them. I think if you're Buffalo, you're really hoping that a defensive tackle drops here. Or if you really are high on him, you trade up to get one of those defensive tackles. But again, I can see them going after wide receiver here. Not a problem. Number 26, the Tennessee Titans are selecting Zion Johnson, center / guard from Boston College. April 16th, Ohio State spring game. We got to go to it. I've been talking to a player on the team. We got to meet him. Yeah, let me see what's going on with my schedule, because holy shit, that week is absolutely busy for me. Going to the Guardians home opener, which is the night before, and I'm going to another game, so I'll have to see if I'm able to. But if I'm able to, we're definitely going. I would love to. In fact, I'm doing a vlog. I'll do a vlog on that. But real quick, back into the mock draft. I want to hurry up and get this done before we get the hell on out of here. Again, Zion Johnson. Okay, I'm not mad at this pick. I think for me, I'd rather have them go wide receiver here. Reason being, I want a guy that could be opposite of A.J. Brown. Now, if you want two A.J. Browns, pretty much. Now, again, even with Robert Woods, as he just gets ready to mention here, do you want two A.J. Browns? If that's the case, you're going to get yourself Treylon Burks. If Jahan Dotson is not there, or if he is there, you get yourself a Jahan Dotson. So there you go. Number 27, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, this is the first mock that I've seen out of either Kuiper or McShay with a running back coming in the first round. They re-signed Leonard Fournette. No. I think it's going to either be a wide receiver, maybe a guy like Zion Johnson if he's still there, or I can see that in this case, I think Andrew Booth is a possibility here as well. But running back here, no, I don't think so. And Zion Johnson, if he's available, that would be beautiful for them. Now, in this situation, here you go. The Green Bay Packers we talked about earlier, are they going to get themselves a wide receiver? They do here with Treylon Burks. So you get yourself a bigger body guy. Aaron Rodgers I think you would love it if you're Aaron Rodgers. Get yourself another big body guy. And this replaces what Devontae Adams was giving you. Now you lose MVS, Marquez Valdez-Scantling. So, number 29, the Miami Dolphins are selecting Nakobe Dean, inside linebacker from Georgia. This is a huge need for them. Love this pick. They need it. There you go. Number 30. Now, in this case, this is before the Tyreek Hill trade. He has Kansas City selecting George Karlaftis. Yes, that would have been a good fit for them. But instead, you traded away Tyreek Hill. You get that extra... Wait a second. Yeah, wait, hold on. I'm losing my mind here. Wait a second. I'm losing my mind here. This should be Miami's pick. Okay. So number 31, the Cincinnati Bengals are selecting Travis Jones, a defensive tackle from Connecticut. Okay. I think for me, again, corner might be a little bit bigger of a need. Defensive tackle, that's the KC. Okay, that is the KC pick. Okay, I'm losing my mind here. But, well, that's whatever. 31 Cincinnati, Travis Jones. I think there's maybe a bigger need for them. 29 is the okay, yep, you're right. You are right. Okay, yep. So I was losing my mind here. So all right, so Kansas City here, they would need. Okay, so if you're them, defensive end George Karlaftis, yes, I like that pick. And for 29, if you're them, maybe a corner, maybe a wide receiver. If you want to go after a wide receiver here, that's a possibility. 31, I think there's bigger needs for them. And here's a fun pick for the last pick in the first round. Number 32, the Detroit Lions are selecting Matt Corral, quarterback from Ole Miss. This would be a fun pick. You get that 5th year of contractual control. It's a possibility, but we shall see. But we're going to go back to full screen. And we are done here, ladies and gentlemen. I do want to say thank you, everyone, for tuning in. If you haven't yet, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, all of that. If you haven't yet, make sure go to the description, Revolution Radio, and follow us on everywhere, Facebook, Twitter, all that, Rev Radio Live. And until then, I hope to see you guys in the next video. It has been an absolute blast. And until then, stay safe and peace out.